What's up, guys? This is Coach Derek with RN Fit Body, and I'm going to explain to you guys how to lose 1 pound per week and keep it off. There's no quotes around that, but I don't know, parentheses, and keep it off. Let's dive into it. So there's two parts when it comes to this, right? So part one is the science of losing 1 pound per week. So it's the what, right? It's the results. And what this means is you got to answer the question, what do you need to do in order to lose the weight? That being said, part two is the psychology of losing the weight and keeping it off. So like the how, right? Sustainability. So how can you lose the weight, do it sustainably, and then keep it off? So you need to think of results and sustainability are like a scale that you're constantly trying to balance. And the reason that I say that is because well, you know what? I'll let the slides explain it. So if you go all for results and then sustainability falls, right? So it's kind of like the scale tips a little bit, right? So if you're looking for more results, it's going to be less sustainable. Whereas if you're looking for more sustainability, you're going to get less results. Because obviously, if you're not following any sort of diet right now, like you have 100% sustainability because that's what you do. You're just eating, right? Zero results. Now, if you flip things around and you go 1,000% and you go like full speed on like, oh my God, now all of a sudden we're doing 2 hours of cardio a day, we're eating 300 calories and we're taking a bunch of fat burners. That's not sustainable, but you're going to get your results. The problem with that is it's not sustainable, which means it's not going to stick around forever. So if you go all sustainability, right, that's what you're doing now, not going forward. So what we need to do is we need to find the balance of the results for sustainability, the balance of between results and sustainability that is specific to you for long-term sustainable weight loss, right? So once we hit this little equal point there, that's when you start to see everything you want. So we're going to get into it with the science of losing 1 pound per week. So the what, the results part. Why does the body store fat? Our bodies store fat for this simple reason. We are eating more calories than we're using. Okay? Very, very simple. Matter cannot be created. Matter cannot be destroyed. So if the calories are going in, the calories are coming out. If you're eating more calories than are going out, where do you think they're going? They're storing them, right? So fat is like a stored energy source. Okay? And a pound of fat is 3,500 calories, give or take. Okay? It's very close. There's a little bit more to it, but anyways. So if you want to lose a pound of fat per week, right? Because that's what we're here for, you need to be in a caloric deficit of 3,500 per week or 500 calories a day. Noted, right? Got that part? So, but how do I know what caloric deficit is for me? Well, how do I know how much, how am I supposed to eat 500 less and lose this pound a week, Coach Derek? Well, I'm going to tell you, hang on. So first you have to find out how many calories a day that you burn on average. And there are 3 factors that influence that. Those 3 factors are going to be your basal metabolic rate, say that 3 times fast, your activities of daily living, and then specific exercise. So the reason I say that is because there's a hack to skip all of the math and find this number for yourself right now. Getting juicy, right? We're getting the good stuff. Go to this calculator, okay? It's literally calculator.net/calories, /calorie-calculator.html. I'll put a link in the comments for you. And if it's, still up, I originally designed this a while ago, but anyways. Input your statistics. And if you can't, by the way, if you cannot find this calorie for some reason, just Google calorie calculator and you can typically find it. So you input your stats, right? You throw all your information in there, then bingo, bango, t-shirt, tango, boom. You have the amount of calories you need to consume to lose weight, gain weight, whatever. That easy. That's all there is to it. However, it's going to make a guess, right? If you just give it your information and it doesn't know like specific things about you, like maybe you have a thyroid disease, or maybe you take fat burners, maybe you're taking phentermine or something. It's not going to be able to calculate those numbers correctly because it doesn't know you, but it's using an equation on the back end to try and give you a projection of what it thinks would work, which is usually pretty close for most people. So now I love the little graphic. I had my graphic designer go in here and put graphics for my notes, and she put a little bomb that says truth. Okay, truth bomb number 1. There's no magic eating pattern for weight loss. That looks like a no smoking sign. I am definitely going to have to talk to her about that. So don't smoke magic. Don't smoke whatever's in this picture here, okay? There's no magic, which means that your traditional 3 meals, 2 snacks, intermittent fasting, OMAD, 1 meal a day, which I like that one, but extended fasting and stuff, right? Those are going to work for fat loss, but the difference between them is how sustainable they are. But for results, little to no difference. Does that kind of make sense? So pick one, test it, and iterate depending on how sustainable it is for you. Get to that in a second. So you need a caloric deficit, right? The greater the deficit, the faster the results, but it may not be more sustainable, okay? Like I said, 2 hours of cardio is not going to be as easy as doing what you're doing now. So theoretically, you could eat your maintenance calories for 6 days, not eat on the 7th day, and then you lose weight. If there's a deficit, you lose the weight. That's all it is. Eat all of your meals and snacks in one sitting. Spread all your meals out. Eat every 5 minutes. Take a bite of food every 5 minutes, and it matches your calories. You're going to, am I starting to make sense here? So that caloric intake, that's going to determine everything. But meal timing does not affect fat loss in any meaningful way. It's going to affect how you feel and your energy levels, but that's sustainability. That's not results. Okay. So truth bomb number 2. I wish she would make these explode. I've talked about that too. So there's no weight lawsuits. Okay. In fact, pause this right now. Google man who lost weight eating nothing but Twinkies. There was a dude who lost weight eating nothing but Twinkies. Am I advocating this? No. Should I have said no faster? Yes. Does it matter? You be the judge. Anyways, so there are foods that make weight loss a little bit more sustainable, which means like high volume, low calorie foods, right? Like, oh, vegetables and fruits. Perfect. Right? Because if you eat a stick of butter, you're probably going to be hungry in about 30 minutes. And first of all, why are you eating a stick of butter? But if you eat like 4 pounds of broccoli, you're probably not going to be hungry for a week. Yeah, kind of understand here? You think there's many calories in broccoli as there is in a stick of butter? No. So they do not help you lose more weight faster, okay? You could only eat carbs and eat them all after 8 p.m. If you're in a calorie deficit, you're going to lose weight. Okay, I'm going to say that again. The timing of the carbohydrates here, the amount of calories you're having, right? You can eat them right before you go to bed and you will still lose weight. Okay? I can't have carbs after 6. You can have carbs after 6. I like to eat ice cream. You know what time I have my ice cream? 6:01 p.m. So the irony, you could eat all Twinkies as long as you're in a caloric deficit. Let's continue on. Thank you, Rhea, for making sure that you put the Twinkies part in there. I love that. Yes, you'll lose muscle. Don't eat Twinkies. We need proper macronutrient distribution so you don't lose muscle as you lose weight. You got to eat enough protein, all right? So we want to keep the muscle that we have. And in order to do that, well, it's going to increase your basal metabolic rate. Again, say that 3 times faster, BMR, and it will allow you to burn more calories through movement. Do you think a 100-pound woman that has never worked out in her life and is very, very, very skinny needs the same amount of calories as a 200-pound bodybuilder woman to sustain the muscle? Why? Why do you think that the bodybuilder woman needs more food? Because she has more muscle mass. She could probably have a donut 3 times a day and not gain any fat because it's not breaking the caloric maintenance for her, as long as it's factored in. But for her to eat a dozen donuts, she could probably factor that in and be okay. The woman who weighs 100 pounds, I don't know her and her metabolism, just like the calculator, but a dozen donuts can make her gain 5 pounds a day. So you want to think of your body like an engine. You want more muscle and you want a more powerful engine to burn fuel faster, right? That's the whole point behind this. But don't worry. I love this. You're not going to get bulky. You're going to get toned. Okay. So I'm going to go back to this. Okay. Because the difference between, there's no toned. Okay. I know what you think, right? There's tone. I want to be toned. I want to tone this. I want to tone my abs. I want to tone my shoulders. You can't tone anything. If you want to tone something, you need to perform 2 separate actions. You need to build more muscle mass and you need to lose more fat. If you can do that, that is toning. When I say we need to bulk up, we need to add some muscle and stuff, you're not going to have, you're not going to pair these. I promise. We're not going to have you looking like that. I mean, some women want to look like that. Maybe you do. I support that, right? If that's what you want to do, absolutely. But I promise you, you're not going to go to the gym and 3 weeks later be walking out like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It just doesn't happen. Toning typically just means adding a little bit of muscle mass and then removing the fat. Very, very, very simple. Okay. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. But, so if you want to find out your protein, take your goal weight, multiply it by 0.75, and then boom, that's your protein for the day. The rest, we're going to fill in with carbs and fat. More carbs than fat to stay fuller, longer. We'll get into this. Okay. So if your weight is 150 pounds, you want about 120 grams of protein per day. It doesn't have to be exact. And I'm telling you this, I see people out there that go absolutely crazy over trying to make sure that they hit their macros. If I tell you to have 200 grams of protein and you have 215 grams of protein, you're going to be okay. If you're supposed to have 80 grams of fat and you have 83 grams of fat, or you're at 77 grams of fat, I promise you, it's okay. Do your best. Thought we were done with the truth bombs, but truth bomb number 3. I had 3 here. Okay, if you are losing more than 1 pound per week and have a calorie deficit of roughly 500 a day or 3,500 a week, you are losing lean body mass. Okay, so lean body mass is water, muscle, and bone. All stuff you want in spades, right? We probably want to keep that stuff. Muscle equals a more toned physique and a faster metabolism, resting and when exercising. Again, if you had the 200-pound bodybuilder woman and the 100-pound 19-year-old girl, and you sat them there for the same amount of time, just 24 hours, who do you think is going to be burning more calories just sitting there? The big, huge, buff bodybuilder woman or the skinny girl that's never worked out, right? So what if the skinny girl added like 20 pounds of muscle, got up to 120? Do you think she would burn more calories? Are you seeing, you're connecting that starting to make sense? We want more muscle mass. We just don't want you to put on too much muscle to the point where you don't like how you look, but we want more muscle mass. Oh yeah, and drink water. If I need to tell you to drink water at this point. Anyways, so bone density is the weight that you want, okay? So we don't want your bones to break when you get older. You are a nurse. You've seen broken bones. We don't want that. So anyways, don't get too excited if you're losing more than 1 pound a week on average. Get concerned just as needed. However, I do want to say that depending on the amount of weight that you want to lose, you can lose 2 to 3 pounds per week safely, 100%. In fact, I prefer to push it around 2 pounds per week because most people, if they're eating the correct diet, don't really see muscle loss in quantities that crazy. 2 pounds per week is okay for most people. If you need to lose 10 pounds, like if you only have 10 pounds to lose, probably a pound to a pound and a half. If you got 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 plus pounds to lose, you're going to see 3 pounds your first week, your first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Like you're going to see that. Monitor your hunger levels. If you're following your macros and your caloric deficit and the weight is just falling off, but the energy's good, you feel good, you can go do your workouts, you get your steps in. If everything is good, but the weight's coming down, don't touch it. If something feels off, right? Like your mental's off, your hormones are off, your health is off, something is wrong, then you need to look into it and see what's going on. Okay. Plus the greater the deficit, the greater the chance of using muscle mass. Yeah. So if you obviously go down and stop eating food, then yeah, you lose all your muscle mass. So by focusing on losing only fat and then having a less of a deficit, you'll make it more sustainable, right? So we want to change the way that you're measuring progress with weight loss to how your clothes fit and the actions you're taking. So, for example, a quick pause for questions on the science of weight loss. So, oh yeah, I remember why I didn't say. Okay, so if you are watching this, right, just go ahead, just down below and then tag me, okay? I think like whatever page I use posted here, just tag it. If not me, then like tag one of the other coaches. Like somebody will answer it. But if you have questions on the science here, drop it in. And I'm going to go back to, where did I want to? Oh yeah, so change the way you're measuring progress from weight loss to how your clothes fit and everything. I also think like some of the really good indicators that I like to use when working with clients is, are your clothes fitting better in the right spots? Okay. Now I say better in the right spots and worse in the wrong spots, which is, I guess it really doesn't make sense, but think about it. If you put a shirt on and it's tight around your belly and it's like loose around your arms, okay, we might need to get a little bit bigger arms, add a little bit of tone, a little tone there, right? And then make sure it fits around the spots that we want it to fit. If you put your pants on and you're spilling out of them, right? Your, muffin tops falling out of that. That doesn't fit. That's a bad fit, right? We don't want that fit. But if you put your pants on, you notice there's less of a muffin top or it's starting to like smooth out into that. That's a good fit. But then you put your pants on, you're like, oh man, I can't get them up over my thighs. My thighs are too big now. It's looser around the waist and bigger on the thighs. Is that a good problem or a bad problem to have? Okay. How clothes fit, how your face looks in pictures, because faces usually drop a lot of weight at first, how you look from a side, front, and a back angle. And then, of course, how you feel, right? Do you feel better? Are you feeling more energized? Are you just, there's a lot of things too. Yeah, another thing that I typically tell people to look out for is like, do you look, and these are like interesting terms. They make more sense with my background with my other nutrition company. but do you look more wet or more dry? And you're probably like, what the hell are you talking about, dude? You ever like have a really, really, really big fast food meal and alcohol? Like, of course you have, because I have. Everybody has. You ever eat a bunch of really terrible food and then drink a bunch of alcohol, and the next morning you wake up and you're covered in like a sheet of just like, ugh, like flabby, gross water. Your face is swollen, ankles are swollen. That's wet. Okay. That means you had too many carbohydrates and you're retaining water. Science stuff, we'll get into it later. Now, have you had those days where you're so busy the day before that you can't even find time to eat? You get home, you pass, you crash, and then wake up the next morning, you're getting dressed, you look in the mirror, and you're like, I look pretty good today. Like, okay, like I look like I lost a little bit of weight. Everything's fitting pretty good. My face looks slim. That's dry. We want dry during weight loss. It might not be dry day one, but if you make a diet change and you notice you wake up wetter than you do drier, no puns intended there, you wake up wetter than you are dry, probably need to adjust something. Just a heads up. Okay, yeah, questions below. Okay, now with that being said, there's a lot to be considered in sustainability, and we won't be able to cover it all. I could probably sit here for about 6 hours and go on about sustainability, so we're gonna shortcut this. Okay. So we're gonna cover some main ways to approach sustainability and actions that you can start. So, followed by actionable ways to make your plan more sustainable. I really should have reviewed this first. Anyways, I just had it all written down and then she'd put it aside. If this type of content is helpful, by the way, if you like this video, 16 minutes into it, okay, leave a comment below and I will go nerd out on as many topics as you want, right? I don't have anything better to do with my time than help people lose weight and record these videos, okay? I have a beautiful wife, but that's not the point. She gets all of my time outside of work. The time I spend working is like making these super cool videos and teaching you guys about stuff you want to know. So if you have questions and you're like, hey, can you make a video on this? Right? Ooh, the part two, the psychology, right? The sustainability. Okay. So this is the most important part here, right? Some people say sustainability. I like to say adherence. So whenever I am speaking with a client, I talk to them about their nutrition, their training, their supplementation, their cardio, and their adherence. Okay. Training, nutrition, supplementation, cardio, adherence, and then the cherry on top is always blood work, okay? And then you can get into accountability. There's a lot of stuff too, okay? We're just going to focus on the sustainability / the adherence, right? So eat less food and you will lose weight. Come back to me in a year, tell me how much weight you lost. Did that work? Hey, eat less food, eat less calories, just eat less food. Did it work? Did you lose weight? Did you know that you needed to eat less food, eat less calories to lose weight? Yeah, you did. Why didn't you just lose the weight? Why haven't you lost the weight? What are you doing? Sustainability and adherence, right? We can't stick to it. Okay. So result-driven plans are all over the internet. All right. Like you can find these things. Okay. So the top 4 results for women who want weight loss plans, look at this: 14-day clean eating, 9 best diets, 7-day plan. Okay. They're all over the place. I forgot I said, okay. And damn it, for results, the plans are solid. Okay. Okay. If you want to go lose weight, go Google one of these and follow it perfectly for a week or 2 weeks, and you'll probably lose weight. There's a 90% chance. Okay. I'm not kidding. Like, pause the video, go grab one of those. You're going to lose the weight. Why didn't you do it? Why have you not paused the video and gone and clicked one of these? Starting to make a little bit more sense now, right? You can Google this stuff, dude. You can go out there and Google all this stuff. But anyways, all we needed was the results, right? If all we needed was the results-driven plan, so a plan built for results, not for sustainability, we would all have 6 packs, okay? Hey, go do an hour of cardio a day, eat 100 carbs a day, 120 grams of protein, 45 to 55 grams of fat, train 30 minutes every single day, 5 days a week on a circuit, and then get your blood work done, make sure everything is good to go, and then take a rest day twice per week. Come back to me in 6 months. There you go. Okay, why haven't you done it? It's in the video, right? You just watched 19 minutes of me explaining to you how to do it. Why have you not left this video to go just print your calories out, follow the diet? Because we don't work like that, okay? Right? It's not the case. We need to focus on how. Right? So this is what we need. We need sustainability for the long term. And the reason I say that is because you want results and you want sustainability, and the cookie cutter plans, they're out there, but there's like a 1 in a million chance it's made for you and exactly what you need to do, which means it'll work, but it's not sustainable. Right? If you're like, oh man, I want to make more money this year. And I was just like, go get a second job. I mean, yeah, obviously, right? But you don't really want to go and right. You're just not doing that. Okay. You go, oh man, the house is dirty. Well, go spend the next 8 hours of your entire day scrubbing every corner of the house. Why aren't you doing it? Because it doesn't work. Okay. So, yeah, because what's sustainable for you is often different than what's sustainable for Sharon. Okay. So instead of trying to give you a cookie cutter plan that doesn't really work that well for you, I want to share the top methodologies that have helped me transform thousands of people's bodies over the last decade. Now, I've worked with both thousands of men and women. So I'm telling you, all the way from like, a mom with her 9-year-old daughter up to like, the 14-year-old boys who just need to lose a couple pounds and, they're playing football or whatever, to like the college athletes I've worked with, up to the nurses and the doctors, all the way up to people in their 60s and 70s who are retired, male, female, top and down. I'm going to tell you some stuff. Top secret sustainability secret. Okay. Secret one, minimize the pain, maximize the pleasure. Okay. You need to find the balance here. We're human beings. Okay. So we will always more towards pleasure and away from pain. Yeah. It's supposed to say we will always move towards pleasure and away from pain. Right. If I have a donut and a handgun, you're probably going to go towards the donut rather than the handgun, right? Danger, pain, and not good. I'm going to stab you versus a donut. Okay. I probably didn't need to explain that, by the way. Probably got that. Okay. So this is not for the New Year's resolutioners, I want to say, but this is for the New Year's resolutioners. Okay. January 1st comes along. Let's go, guys. Golly, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to go and, right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Doesn't work. There's an emotional component to all of us as humans. And the reason I say that is if your plan to lose weight ever gets to the point that it's more pain than pleasure, you're going to stop. You may get results. You may be able to see, 5 pounds a week for 3 weeks. But if you're doing that and it's like you're killing yourself to make that happen, it doesn't last, right? You've always heard, and this is a really cool thing. It's not even like scripted or anything in here that I'm like going to go over, but you need to eat more calories to lose weight. You've heard that. Well, you got to just eat more food if you want to lose weight. Do you want to know what that really means? Do you want to know what that really means? It means that your calories are so low during the week that you can't control yourself when the weekend comes around. So you go eat whatever you feel like. If you were to just give yourself 500 calories underneath your maintenance rather than like 800 calories a day, right? Eating more food, you would see sustainable weight loss. Our little secret. So eat more if you want to lose weight. That's what that means. Yeah, square one again, whatever I was saying before, a little secret thing. Yeah, they wait for the perfect time to start a plan. Not a good idea, right? It's not going to happen. They create a plan under perfect conditions. Well, for breakfast, I'm going to have this. For lunch, I'm going to have this. For dinner, I'm going to have this. I'm going to work out at 5 a.m. I'm going to wake up at 4 a.m. and I'm going to go to Liberty Steps and I'm going to do the Rocky montage every single day twice. Sure. You ever come to me and you say, I'm going to wake up at 4 a.m. and I'm going to run for an hour in the morning? Like the first thing I'm going to do is run. If you're not already a runner, you're not going to do that and you're not going to stick. Okay. Like start with running when you enjoy running. Start with like a treadmill. Start with like some sort of movement step count. Right. And then allot time for yourself when you know you will realistically be motivated to do it, and then start doing it. Yes. Waking up at 4 a.m. and then running up and down the Liberty Step, whatever, right? That's fine. But if you try to implement this all at day one and you're not used to that level of exertion or that level of commitment or dedication, you're just going to fail. You're just going to fail. I've seen it happen. Maybe one out of like 100,000 people possibly go from being like super overweight at 0 to just killing it like that. Like I don't know. It must have been like your 30-year, wife just cheated on you or something like that. Or that would motivate me. I mean, probably not even that motivated. That's a lot of pain, dude. That's a lot of cardio. Sorry, tangents. Okay. So if you're not stressed now, the stress is coming. And if your plan doesn't have a buffer between pain and pleasure, you're going to stop. Sustainability secret number 2. Must do. Oh, so reduce negative feedback loops and create positive feedback loops. Dude, what are you talking about? I thought I just had to eat less food. Well, guess what? Okay. So a negative feedback loop is weighing yourself daily/weekly. Okay. You're doing everything right. You weigh yourself. And if you haven't lost weight, then bam, you're punished, right? There's pain. Okay. Don't weigh yourself. All right. Positive feedback loop is to judge yourself on the progress you've made and other factors that you'll be rewarded for, like your actions and how your clothes fit. Okay. So if the number on the scale goes up, you punish yourself. That's wrong. If you're seeing wins in other areas, okay, positive feedback. So if you judged yourself based on your actions and not your daily or weekly results, right? That's what we want to do. Don't you think you'd be more motivated to keep going? So a couple quick examples of how we create the positive feedback loops with our clients, specifically mine, since this is what I've implemented, right? So daily praise. Okay. If you lose an ounce of weight, I'm going to tell you, great work. Okay. What do we say? She's Sharon, right? Sharon, awesome. Love it. Let's go, dude. You're killing it. You lost a pound, you lost a half pound, you lost an ounce. That's a win. Okay. Any sort of results are worth celebrating. My clothes fit better. Okay. My husband said something. I'm looking a little bit leaner. My coworkers complimented me. We want daily wins if possible. Okay. So depending on who you work with as your coach, right? Daily, weekly, bi-weekly, whatever programming, whatever setup that you decide to do. Okay. But you should have daily wins. There should be daily wins. Like, hey, I just crushed this day. Like my diet, everything was perfect. My macros were perfect. And I hit my step goal. Dude, if you followed your diet and you hit your step goal and you do your workouts, you're doing what you need to do. Just do it again tomorrow. And then tomorrow, and then tomorrow, and tomorrow, right? You're winning. That's it. Like, you want to lose weight. And it's like, if you do what you need to do and you check the box, you win. That's it. That's what you have to do. Just follow the plan, right? Yeah, of course. And then we have the Facebook group and stuff. We had a bigger Facebook group previously and it got a little bit too flooded. And this one is very strict. So it's not nearly as many members, but, so we help them adopt similar frames so that they can have the positive feedback loops without us over time. So mind frames, I don't know where mindsets, whatever. So mental framing. So it's essentially like you want to celebrate your own wins without us being like, hey, congratulations on, losing half an ounce or whatever. Okay. Sustainability secret number 3. Let's go. So play an infinite game, not a finite one. Okay. And a finite game, it's like, you may want to lose 50 pounds. What are you going to do after you lose the 50 pounds? Have you thought about that? What are you going to keep dieting? Or are you going to be able to change your diet? How do you know that you're changing your diet? It's not going to get you back up in weight, right? What are you going to do when you get there, right? With an infinite game, the purpose is to continue to play. You don't win the game. You hit your goals and you get rewards and stuff. I don't know, like maybe like the game of life or game of Monopoly. You just keep going around and around and around. You just try to get better and better. Okay. So with a finite game, it is externally defined versus internally defined, right? So external definition is looking at the scale. Internal definition is looking at how you feel on a day-to-day basis and how everything goes for you. Winners win titles versus continued play. And then we strategize to win versus strategizing to continue play. If you came to me and you said, hey, I don't know which one to use here. I'm going to give you $1 million or shoot you if you do not help me lose 10 pounds as fast as possible. Okay. So that is a strategy to win. We don't want the strategy to win. We want the strategy to continue to play. So essentially we want to just continue. So even if you lose the 10 pounds, it's not just the 10 pounds that we're focused on losing. It's the entire continuation of losing that weight. I know it's kind of like, talking in circles here, but set your goals and set your targets, but realize that weight loss and like getting in shape, it's not really about just getting from weight 1 to weight 2 or goal 1 to goal 2. Like you continue to just get better. That's the best way I can explain. So the people I've helped break through to sustainable weight loss only do so when they play a different game, right? Okay. So instead of trying to lose 40 pounds, they're trying to sustain the 40 pounds lost as the game. It's not about the goal. It's about the journey, right? It's not whatever. Okay. So you might think that's the same, right? But it's not the same. And the reason I say that, because if you win the game and you lose the 40 pounds, right? If you're like, I want 40 pounds, dude, here's $1 million. I'm going to shoot you if you don't do it. Okay. You want to lose 40 pounds? I got you. No problem. We lose that 40 pounds real quick. You know how fast you're going to gain those 40 pounds back? About 5 times faster than you lost it because you don't know what to do. You don't have the sustainability set up, right? Again, sustainability, back to it. So, right, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I got all the results that I want. Okay. And then, then you burn out, you deviate from perfection, and you spiral out of control. So, assuming you don't die on the climb, quit. If your goal is to sustain the 40 pounds lost, even though you haven't lost it yet, you will only do things that are sustainable. You will think in years instead of weeks and months. So rather than I'm trying to lose 40 pounds, boom, there's the target. My goal is to lose 40 pounds, and I'm going to change my lifestyle in order to put the sustainable habits there so that I get down and start losing weight. The goal is to not lose 40 pounds. The goal is to just, you see what I mean here? Right? We're not aiming, of course we're aiming for the target, but it's like, we're not just laser sight on 40. We want to set yourself up so that you're losing weight, and then you'll cruise down to the 40 pound mark, and then you have your weight loss, and then you continue to lose or whatever, you switch it up. But that's the point, right? Because if you create the sustainable habits, then you can just cruise on for the rest of your life. That's the point, right? Hi, Patty. I'm probably watching this. Hi, Patty. So she gets to eat foods like this, and hopefully this is big enough on your screen, but essentially the foods that I like to program, right, and how I personally do it is we set you up, and it's like, what do you like to eat for breakfast? What do you like for lunch? What do you like for dinner? Like, what do you like for dessert? Do you have coffee in the morning? All this kind of stuff. I personally have written cookbooks, real small ones, like little 5-page, like little 5 recipe cookbooks with stuff like pizza, stuff like ice cream and brownies and cheeseburgers. That's one of my favorites. Chicken fingers, I have a recipe for that. I have a peach crumble muffin. Egg frittata is a fantastic one. A breakfast bowl scramble, that's a beautiful one. Oh, pancakes and crepes. Okay, you just have to, you obviously know the difference between the two. But you can eat this kind of food, right? You lose the weight, all right? So the best part is with Patty, she's not going to stop doing this because she gets to eat the food she wants to eat, and she's not struggling, right? If I said you can have pizza and burgers and chips and fast food, and you can eat that every day and lose weight, don't quote me on this, but eat that every day and lose weight. Would you lose weight? Yeah, pretty easy, right? Your sustainability would be through the roof. You're not changing anything from the way you're eating now. You eat whatever you want. Just keep eating it, right? But if we swap those foods out with foods that are actually healthy, clean, and fit your macros and still taste really good, maybe, it's not the same as scarfing down a cheeseburger from McDonald's. But if you get to grill yourself a homemade burger and then cut up potatoes, a little bit of olive oil and some sea salt and a little bit of a paprika on top, throw them in an air fryer and then roast them and have like a side of like fried asparagus or something, right? Or like you can do that. I don't know why I said fries and asparagus in a burger. That's kind of gross. Sorry, I was thinking about a veggie. Is this making sense? Of course it is. If not, you can comment. Give me an amen in the comments. Yes, you can see I am. Yes, 100%. Little amen. And hallelujah. Hallelujah. Okay. So with this approach, it's less aggressive, and you'll think about creating habits in small steps because it has to be forever. Like if you came to me and you're like, oh, hey, Coach Derek, I want to lose 40 pounds. And I was like, gotcha, I'm going to help you lose 40 pounds. And then you're completely on your own. Good luck, you're going to gain the weight back. Well, that's not really what we want, right? We want to keep the weight off. So no insane person is going to crank the pain to a 7, 8, 9, or 10 if they knew they'd be doing it for a long term. Like I said, 2 hours of cardio, 400 calories. Yeah, you're going to lose the weight. Can you sustain that? Not going to happen. So yeah, she's getting a raise. So that's funny. Anyways, so you lose the weight the same way because the actions to sustain the weight loss are the same to sustain it, right? So in order to sustain, you are sustaining. So essentially it's like looping around, right? So doesn't it make sense to lose the weight with the same approach to sustain it, right? Because the other way, as you probably know, and you have tried, doesn't work when you account for years. Are we starting to make sense? Okay. Now you may be thinking, I'm ready. This makes sense, but I just don't know how to get going again. Gotcha. You need to break inertia. Okay. So you've probably heard it before. An object at rest will stay at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion. And I mean, I was going to go deep into like the thermodynamic effect of the thermogenic effect of protein earlier. I was talking to my, whatever. Hopefully my graphic designer cuts this out. Doesn't make me look like a nerd here, but here we go. Yeah. Objects stay in motion. Okay. So it's challenging to break inertia on your own. So use as many tools as you can to help you out here, right? I want you to cheat. I want you to think about this. How can I make my life as easy as possible and lose this weight? When I think about it, when I'm setting up and programming a client, I say, well, Sharon, right? Sharon, Patty, Sharon, right? I think I was saying, I'd really like, Sharon, do you like your coffee in the morning? Oh, I got to have my coffee in the morning, coach. Okay, what do you have in your coffee? Well, I do 2 sugars and I do, a serving of creamer. I will put that into your diet. Okay. Like, it's like, that's a cheat code for you. If you want to eat the foods you love, just fit it within the macros, right? Anyways, so back to this tools for the inertia. Excuse me. Podcasts. They're fantastic. There's a reason that I make them. There's a reason I do these videos. Not really podcasts anymore, more videos like this. So yes, as you can see, I haven't updated that. So anyways, you can get positive, helpful tips and insights into your body transformation using NETs. No extra time. That means while you're driving, doing chores, or walking, NET. So there's going to be a link in the comment section for that. I have yet to record that video as of recording this one, but I will definitely get you a link to it when it's ready. So if I don't have it, you can also comment and be like, hey, dude, like, hey, Coach Derek, or whatever you would call me, all right? Post it down there. I'll get it for you. That's actually one of the videos I'm doing today. But anyways, get a friend or a group of like-minded people that are all pursuing the same goal and mission, right? Find a buddy. It's easier to do with a buddy. Okay. And get clear on your goals and your path to get there. So your mind is like a heat-seeking missile. The more you can tell it exactly where to go, the easier it's going to be to get there. All right. So if you were certain this was the last time you had to start, I'm sure you'd be willing to invest more of yourself to make this the last time you had to. Does that make sense? Okay. So a coach is not required to make this change happen forever, but it does make it easier, faster, and allow you to have less ups and downs. Okay. And if you get the right one, they'll guarantee your lifetime results like we do. Okay. Because, well, I mean, can we guarantee them if you're going to get out of the other side of the program and just go eat whatever you feel like eating? No, obviously, but we're going to teach you what to do, teach you how to swap your foods, teach you how to calculate. We're going to teach you how to do this, right? And you may be thinking like, that's all great and everything, but how can I make my nutrition more sustainable? 3 actionable strategies that you can do to make nutrition more sustainable from day one. Let's get into it. Okay. So that's French. So number 1, include your favorite foods. Okay. Increase, don't decrease, no deprivation. If you like your coffee, have your coffee. If you like ice cream at night, have your ice cream at night. Look at your calories, look at your macros, look at all that kind of stuff. Okay. You can eat your favorite foods while adhering to the science of weight loss. You just have to balance it properly. Remember, calorie deficit. Okay. If you don't like math or want the simple way, which, I mean, essentially you're going to be probably working with a coach when they're doing this for you. But anyways, 2 out of 20 meals per week, eat whatever you want. Okay. So don't eat like a competitive eater twice per week, but eat foods that are less optimal. So you'll still be eating optimal foods 90% of the time. Plus, by focusing on increasing, not decreasing deprivation, you won't have to, you won't have the inner rebel that you'll have to fight when you want to cheat, right? So if you're like, oh, I can't live my life without my Dove chocolates before bed. Okay, so they're like 50 calories, and just have your Dove chocolates. Just take it off your calorie limit, right? Like there's this one dude who had cheesecake and hot Cheetos in his diet that I worked with. Mind blowing, right? I had another guy that I programmed beer. I've got a couple women that do half a glass of wine a night. You don't think they're losing weight? Thousands of people. Anyways, so yeah. So this is another thing that's nice. It's like when I go out on vacation and stuff, and like when I go out to dinner with my wife and like we spend time together, I understand that the food is going to be a little bit unhealthy. So essentially what I try to do is make sure it's something that looks relatively clean. And I'll kind of try to adjust the food that I have in the rest of the day, like eat just a little bit less, or maybe like skip one of my normal 3 meals and then replace that meal with the meal where we go out. Okay. And I know that I can do that comfortably because I myself has lost, oh man, I used to know this number. I went from 215 to 130, 85 pounds. I thought it was 90. I lost 90 pounds myself and I did the keto diet on that, which of course absolutely works fantastic. Do I recommend it now knowing what I knew back then? No, as a fat 17-year-old kid or a fat 16-year-old kid, my life was significantly different and I got my heart broken. And guess what? The pain was at a 10. The pain of being a fat kid was at a 10. right? It was at 11. I was picked on, okay? Right? Look at me. I'm a model when I take these off. Just kidding. So I was, yeah, I was in all the AP classes, National Honor Society, president of the Academic Decathlon, and the Research Club, full ride scholarships. I'm sure you would think that I'm dumb just looking at me. I get that. Like, I know that I don't look smart, but but yeah, you can like actually have foods that you want, and like you don't have to starve, dude. Like just let us help you. Anyways, so you need to choose the eating style that fits your lifestyle. Okay. So the reason that I say that is like the keto diet worked for me. I had a guy named Nick that I work with. He lost 200 pounds. We did the OMAD diet, which was 1 meal a day. He lost a little bit of weight like that, and then we switched over to like I think it was just macros, but yeah, any of these work. Okay, it doesn't matter, right? Like you're not going to come to us and we're going to say, hey, we have this one size fits all magic program. There's a reason there's no magic program or acronym that we use. We got the 12-week, RN Fit Body Blueprint, whatever we named it. Okay. Like that's awesome. That gives you the basic guidelines here. All right. But any diet is going to work for you. Okay. Any caloric deficit, the intermittent fasting is just cramming your calories in a 4-hour window. Okay. OMAD is cramming them in one meal. Extended fasting is fasting. 3 meals and 2 snacks fit your calories. That's dieting too. 1 meal, 3 snacks, 10 snacks, 5 meals. I get passionate about this stuff, dude. Sorry. Okay, so set yourself up for the eating style that will be easiest for you and give yourself permission to adapt based on life. Okay, so perfection mentality out the window. We do not need to be perfect. It does not serve you. It only limits you. We want 90%. Okay, you can be 90% perfect. So I tell my clients all the time, the RNs who get to / maintain their goal for years are the ones who try and fail over and over again. Both fall off the wagon equally. Okay. Why? So just the RNs that win call it adapting and don't tie their emotions to and hop right back on the wagon. And the ones that don't feel bad about it and start a guilty cycle. The great news is there's nothing special between the people that do and the people that don't. They've just adopted new beliefs around food and weight loss. Okay. Nothing special. I'm telling you, it's like the first time that I saw my beautiful wife. It was like I saw color for the first time. As soon as you learn how to do this stuff, I'm not even kidding. You just work with one of the coaches. Like just find one that you like, talk to somebody, work with one of these coaches. Within the first 30 days, you're going to be like, oh my God, I didn't realize that I could eat this much food. I didn't realize I could have the food that I wanted and still lose weight. I'm telling you, ice cream, dude. Number 3, protein first. This one really kind of depends on who you are as a person and if you have trouble getting protein in, but like carbs and sugar and fats are delicious and protein is gross. Okay. If I put a plate of chicken breast in front of you, just boiled plain chicken breast, and then I put a bowl of plain pasta in front of you, 90% of people are going to eat the pasta. Carbs taste better. And then I would say stick of butter, but nobody's going to eat a stick of butter. So, fried onion rings, okay, versus like boiled chicken breast. Right? So we want to focus on getting the protein in first, especially if you struggle with it. It keeps you fuller longer and it helps you with not losing muscle when you're in a caloric deficit. There's a lot of benefits to it. So if you pair that with drinking half of your body weight in water per day in ounces. And when I say water, I mean like any sort of liquids. Okay. Look for 5 to 10 calories per like 12 to 16 ounce serving. So like I used to do a lot of the energy drink Monster Ultras, which I know nurses just slam energy drinks, right? Those are okay. When I say okay, I mean okay for weight loss, not necessarily for like preventing cardiac arrest or, heart palpitations, but diet sodas. I mean, I know I'm going to get some hate probably in the comments for this, but diet sodas are okay. Diet drinks are okay. Mio is okay. Water enhancer are okay. Club sodas are okay. Anything with 5 to 10 calories is okay. Black coffee is okay. Energy drinks of all types are okay. Dutch Bros. You ever have the sugar-free ice rebel with sugar-free syrups? Those are fine. Okay. There's a million things at Starbucks you can get. They're 0 calories, low calories. Those are fine. Okay. All the drinks are fine. Now, are there issues with bloating and other kind of things? Yeah, there's some issues that you'll experience, of course. But the way that I like to put it, and especially when it comes to like eating junk food on your diet, which should be 90% clean, 10% not clean. But if you're 400 pounds and you need to lose 200 pounds and you eat nothing but junk food all day for a year and you lose 200 pounds. Yes, you have done damage to your heart. Yes, you have done damage. Your cholesterol's probably whatever, right? You lose those 200 pounds, okay? And I'm not advocating this, but I'm saying you lose the 200 pounds, you have added 20 to 30 years to your life, depending on how old you are. And then you eat your clean diet and you take your meds and you take your supplements and you do your cardio and then you fix your blood work. Okay. So like if you like losing 100 pounds or 50 pounds is way more important, way more beneficial to your health than the detriment of drinking a Diet Coke twice a day. Okay. When I was losing weight, I Diet Snapples, which I don't even know if those are super low calorie. 6-pack of Diet Snapples every day. A 6-pack of Diet Snapples. Delicious, by the way. If you ever want to give me a gift, peach Diet Snap. So again, TED Talk number 2. Yeah, and then you'll naturally cut the calories, right? So if you start slamming this, you start getting all your protein, et cetera, like, yeah, it's going to cut some calories. So closing notes, you can absolutely do this. Carla herself, boom, see the weight loss. She wasn't special. Okay. She embodied these principles. She lost 120 pounds, as did Katie, 136. Not in this video, but you'll see, I promise you will see Katie. Okay. And she sustained the weight loss for 6 years. Okay. So, right. These women weren't special either. Okay. So Heather lost 86 pounds. You don't need a coach. Use everything in this group and you will get there eventually. Okay. You can definitely do this yourself. You do not need a coach. Okay. But if you want to move faster, you want to have less ups and downs, the cheat codes, right? And you want the lifetime sustainability, right? Guarantees. DM me interested. Okay. Or find Katie, DM her, find Keontae, Lexi, whoever, one of the coaches. I mean, there's a million different ways to get a hold of us. You just make a post. You'd be like, hey, I need help. Hey, I want to, right? Like we have a website too. Tons of ways. Anyways, the best is yet to come. I believe in you. You can do it. That was the most motivating statement I think I've ever said. But, yeah, seriously, my little exit monologue here. I know we've been going for almost an hour, but, I want to make sure we help you. Okay. Like if you're watching this, you want to lose a pound per week, which means you probably have around 20 pounds to lose because most of the women and most of the nurses and most of the medical professionals in this group, they typically have 20 to 50 pounds. That's their weight loss goal. Okay. You can do this or you can just have it done for you. Okay. Like there's no reason that you should spend any more of your time not living your best life. If you could snap your fingers and make the change today, would you make the change? Okay. So now ask yourself, if you would have started a year ago and lost all the weight you wanted to lose, how happy would you be today with your changes? How happy would you be with your body? Right. So think about it. Do you still want to be in the same place that you are today a year from now? Just saying. Reach out, email, text, website, whatever, DMs, post in the group, let us know. There's a link somewhere, probably in the comments. Reach out and we will help you. We do not do a sales call on the first call. It is not how we operate. It's a 15-minute call. We talk to you. We give you pointers. We learn about you. I mean, I would say about 50% of people actually qualify. We typically have a waiting list, but like submit your information, talk to us, and then we'll go over what's going to work for you, what we can do, how we can help, that kind of stuff. And if it's a good fit, then we move forward. If not, then anybody that you speak with, any other coaches, me, Katie, whoever, like we're going to give you as much ammunition as you can to tackle it, right? Because if you want to lose 10 pounds, you probably don't need to work with us for 6 to 12 months. But if you need to lose 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 or more, it's probably a good idea to contact the professionals who work with you specifically on what you need and you want to succeed. All right. So anyways, Coach Derek, thank you for giving me about an hour of your time. Please leave a comment. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. I worked really, 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 really hard on this. This was 199 slides. So there's like 2 or 3 edits in this whole video because I messed up and I had to like redo certain sections, but like, anyways, talk soon.